I can't. All right. So I was talking to some of Dan's friends last night, and we were discussing, after they gave their nice speeches, I was like, oh my God, I hope mine isn't too long. And they were like, you should probably edit. I was like, no, I'm going in now. I'm going to call you guys up to turn the pages. Okay? This is going to be a novel, so make yourself comfortable. No, I'm just joking. It's going to be okay. So, from my perspective, the union of Dan and Nicole is not only beautiful and sacred, but also not an accident. And to explain that, I need to give a little history to help us all understand where Dan has come from to arrive at this point. Dan's life, I believe, can be broken down into three distinct phases. Why are you guys laughing already? This is not the joke part. This is, okay. As a young child, he was exceptionally loyal, kind, but shy. Some of my earliest memories were a small Dan running to hide behind my mother's legs and peeking out from behind her dress so that new guests in the room wouldn't see him. Later, when I joined the Little League baseball teams, Dan exercised his loyalty as the bat boy of every team that I joined. I had one coach in particular who was temperamental and prone to fits of anger. And when calls didn't go our way, he'd kick over all the bats and helmets that were carefully stacked by Dan to show his displeasure. Dan would scurry out onto the field in his oversized pants and jersey and quickly reassemble them into their original position. This would happen several times a game and all season. This, for many years, was the only Dan our family knew, and that I'm sure most here don't know. Now, as we grew older, Dan came to the realization that the things he wanted in life, like success, leadership, and cryptocurrency, could not be bought with a meek attitude and a stutter. So I think my dad mentioned briefly that Dan was probably like the cutest kid ever. Like cherub, curly hair, stutter, quiz. I feel bad for everyone here because you don't know what I'm talking about. Only 4 people here know what I'm talking about. He was the cutest. So he needed to overcome his shyness and break out of his shell. During this second phase of life, there were growing pains. Characteristics that further down the road helped him in his success, like his persistence and confidence, manifested in their immature versions, and we'd see brash arrogance and dogged bullheadedness instead. He wanted to show everyone around him that he was no longer the kid with the stutter. I'm not going to lie, this was a hard time for us to process. All we wanted was the sweet Dan back. Privately, we'd pray for him to find a strong girl who would put him in his place. Those are my air quotes. Thinking that only a forceful woman could guide his passion and help him thrive. However, one by one, these relationships would all go up in flames. Literally. Dan would set them all on fire. It was scary times. This is when Nicole stepped into his life with her cheery optimism. And we thought, oh dear. This poor girl. Let's hide the kerosene. Spare this one, we said. You see, what we didn't know is that Nicole's optimism was not born from naivety. It was instead cultivated from hardships that she'd endured through her life. Stemming from her health issues and spilling into her own personal life, Nicole was not afforded your average upbringing and a carefree existence. She was taught through life experience the value of every moment. She was not your average girl. Her quiet strength was earned. And so a funny thing happened when their chemistry started to mix. In instances where conflict would have arisen in past relationships, Nicole appealed to Dan's compassion, and he was disarmed. In instances where his passion would have led him off the rails, her wisdom was able to keep him on track. And I saw Dan trust someone for the first time. In effect, she brought back our old Dan. She was able to unite the sides of his personality that even he didn't think could go together. And for this, I am grateful. We're grateful, and even he is grateful. And I can say that because I see an ease and comfort with him that I haven't seen in a long time. Now, to close off my novel, I want to finish with a story about my mother's marriage.
Going everywhere.
But you,
yeah,
I'm bouncing around. I'm a musician, I'm a storyteller, this is what we do. What you need to know about our family is that we come from a long line of rebellious rule breakers. People that have bucked societal trends and glorified those who thought differently. My mom is a perfect example, as she is an independent woman who was born in a time before it was a cool lyric in a Beyonce song sung at sorority houses. And so you can imagine she gave my grandfather hell growing up, where all he wanted for her was to be quiet, marry, and have kids. She strove for an education and a career she could be proud of. That's her brother clapping. He saw it. And the two of them, her and her father, fought tooth and nail growing up. On the day of my mother's wedding, this is great, her father came up to congratulate my dad. And when they shook hands, my grandfather pulled him close and said, "Congratulations, dearie. She's your problem now." So with that in mind, I say this with all the love in my heart. For Dan and Nicole, congratulations, Nicole. He's your problem now.
Nicely done.
So let's raise our glasses up and give a cheer. We're in an amazing region of Italy. How could we all be brought together in this place? It's amazing. Congratulations, Dan and Nicole. Love you guys.
Hello.
That was the best.